Hi guys, and welcome to today's tutorial. In today's lesson we're going to look at the chapter on economic inequalities, and we're going to look at two different ways to measure development within countries. Okay, so the first way that you can measure development is by looking at the GNP. So the GNP per person, and that basically just how you work out that is you get the GNP and you divide that by the total population, and the higher the figure means the more developed. So I'll just write down, so GNP stands for gross, so it stands for gross national product, and the higher the GNP, equals the more developed the country. Okay, so this is a good way to measure like how developed a country is. But it doesn't really give us the overall quality of life. It doesn't tell us how well the standard of living or the quality of life that the people living in that country get. So what we use to measure the quality of life is the human suffering index. So human suffering index, because this gives us a much better idea of the quality of life. So it gives us tells us the standard of living within that country. Within a country. Okay, so I've made out the table for the human suffering index, and it looks at 10 different things to make up the human suffering index. The first one is life expectancy, then it's the GNP, so income per head, the daily calorie intake of people, the level of inflation in the country, civil rights, communication technology, number of secondary schools, political freedom and access to clean water, and finally the last one is vaccination of infants. So what they do is they score each of these from 0 to 10. So from 0 to 10 they score them with points, and the maximum number of points, so if you score 10, that means that you have, it indicates the maximum amount of suffering. So life expectancy, if there's a really poor life expectancy, you might get 10 points. If there's a really fantastic life expectancy in that country, you might get 0 or 1, and so on. So do this for each one of these. So the maximum number of points that you could get would be 100, and the minimum you could get would be 0. And I'm going to show you some example of some results of some countries. Okay, so I'll put some of the results in here. So you can see Denmark scored 1. So that means that their human index suffering is very, very low. They've got an excellent quality of life, which is just scoring 1 point on the suffering chart. USA has scored 5, Ireland has scored 11. Okay, so we are obviously very developed. These three countries are very, very developed: Denmark, USA and Ireland. And then if you look at the other end of the spectrum, where you look at Somalia, they scored 92. Okay, so they nearly scored 10 points for nearly every single thing. They only have 8 points where they scored for not suffering. Okay, so there's a huge amount of suffering and a very poor quality of life if you live in Somalia compared to the likes of Denmark, USA or Ireland. Okay, so that's it for today's tutorial. We looked at 2 ways to measure development. We used the GNP, which measures like how well developed the economy is, the country. And then we looked at the human suffering index, which basically tells us what the quality of life and the standard of living the people have within that country. If you enjoyed the video, if you learned from it, can you please leave me some feedback? I really appreciate that. And you can also get more videos on our website, examrevision.ie. Thank you.